Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to Rachel's Corner. My name is Rachel. This is my first YouTube video, so I will just do a little introduction. I am 16 years old. This is a knitting podcast, by the way. So I started knitting in like about 10 years ago, and I have loved it ever since. So I've been knitting, not 10 years ago, but 8 years ago. So I've been knitting for 8 years. I've been crocheting for about 7 years. But I haven't really been crocheting that often. But I know how to do it. I just don't like it as much as knitting. I am a Doctor Who fan, as you can see from my poster. So I love knitting, Doctor Who, crocheting as well. I also enjoy K-pop, which people don't usually know what it is, and they don't really understand it. I mean, like, they understand what it is. It's just, okay. Basically, K-pop is Korean pop music, and I don't know, there's just something about it that I really like. That other people don't really understand, and they judge me. So, anyway, you guys will probably you'll hear some more of K-pop in the future. But anyway, this is a knitting podcast, so let's get to knitting. So, as I've noticed from other podcasters, like Pro the Pacific, I watch her as well, she has like themes, and other people have themes for their podcasts. So I was thinking, like, I don't know if it's copying off people, but there's a window right here. So I always watch people to see if they stop at the stop sign, and not all of them do. It's really annoying. But I was wondering if it was like copying off people if you do themes. But if it is, sorry. But anyway, my theme, since I've always liked farms since I was young, because my uncle is a farmer, and so I was just thinking of having a farming theme. So I don't know. So for announcements, I know my brother thinks that this is weird, but shout to the cows, because you're shouting announcements. Why don't you just shout to the cows? I am weird, so you will obviously get that in later podcasts. So announcements are going to be shout to the cows. On the needles or the things that I'm working on will be, what is it? In the alfalfa field. Because, I don't know, because the alfalfa field is growing, and if you don't know alfalfa, dried alfalfa becomes hay for the cows. So in the alfalfa field, it's kind of like, the crops are growing as well as the projects are growing as well. I don't know, maybe. And then finishing projects or finished projects will be rolling the hay bales, because, when you roll the hay bales, you're finishing the thing. I don't know if you... Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Okay. And then, like, if you have finished a project, but you either, like, need to weave in ends or, like, sew, like, finish it, that would be, like, fertilizing the crops, because they're kind of done, but you need to give them a little bit of help. So, yeah. And then a whole new batch of projects will be crop rotation, because we do have crop rotation. So, let's get into knitting. My whole desk area is really messy. So there's a table, and then there's my yarn stash, and then books, and then just other, I don't really know how to explain it. but it's all knitting related. So I have my big laundry basket. It was cheap, so I got it. Laundry basket of projects. So let's get started with some of them. Okay, this is my mostly oldest one. When I first started watching Pearl of the Pacific, I was like, why would you need project bags? Project bags are so like, they're like weighing on you. And then I actually started using them. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need these. I need these so bad. So this is my first project. Not first one I'm showing you. This is a scarf I am knitting for my uncle. Because he really likes it that I knit. So I thought, oh, why don't I knit him something? So I used 2 kinds of yarns for this one. Not 2 kinds of yarns, 2 strings of yarns, and knit them both so it's kind of chunky, but it'll be warm. And then I didn't want to knit this the whole time, so I kind of switched to a smaller needle and smaller, or just 1 thread of yarn. So, I don't know. I wanted to switch it up a bit so it would be a bit more interesting. I don't know how long that's going to be, but I do want to make it long enough for him. He's kind of old. He's old, but he's a nice uncle. So that's number 1. Just 3 down there. Actually, Pearl of the Pacific was the person who got me started on knitting socks, because I saw her knitting her socks and I'm like, oh my gosh, I really want to do that. So I have like 6 pairs of socks that I've just kind of knit for fun, since I started out on knitting. So, yeah. So basically I know how to knit socks now, but I just need to get from knitting in acrylic yarns to knitting in like wool and cashmere, and I don't know if you would knit socks in wool and cashmere, but hey, it's always the first time for everything. So these actually were longer before I had to rip them out, because it was the wrong stitch count, basically, for one side. It was weird, because this side was okay, this side was fine, and this side was fine, but this side, this needle had like 25 stitches instead of 22. Because I'm test knitting these kind of socks on these kind of needles because I want it a certain size. I have a weird thing about whenever I knit socks, I have to have it a certain size or else I can't knit on it. And I'm trying to get over that because I know I'm going to have to knit socks for some people and their sock size is going to be bigger than what I want, or, well, smaller than what I want. But these are just being test knit right now, so they're not really a priority. So those were fine. These are all out of acrylic yarns, by the way. Most of these are I Love This Yarn from, because we all love Hobby Lobby. That was the contrasting color. This is the main color. It's kind of like a camouflage kind of thing. It's actually really pretty. I like greens. So anyway, that's my second project. This is my other pair of socks. That is just for fun kind of socks. And these are a little bit bigger than what I want them to be, so I haven't knit on them. And those were on size, I don't know, 2s? Size 2 needles? These are on 2.75. These are just black and kind of like sparkly colors. I don't know. I think there's a certain word for the, because it has it like with the yarn. So I don't know what. I think there's a certain name for it. There might not be, but I just have a feeling that it is. Anyway. Yeah. And I actually made this project bag and this project bag out of pajamas. Because I'm that kind of person. So, third project, actually, I have knit this 3 times before, and I've loved knitting this type of project, so I'm knitting again just for fun. It's a sweater! So far, I've knit, my first sweater was a sweater for my dad, and I knit that one. And then I knit one for my grandma, and that was good. And then I knit one for myself, and that was fine. I actually had to rip back the neck because I wanted like a cowl kind of neck, but I had increased way too much, so it was like out to here, and obviously I couldn't wear it because it would have just fallen off, so I had to rip back the neck, and I re-knit the front, and it was really nice. It's a tiny bit tight, but I could deal with it. So yeah, this is my 4th sweater. I don't know, the lighting, I don't know, it's a little bit brighter. That window, okay. Hopefully it looks good. But yeah, I got the pattern from Hobby Lobby because they have, you know, the free patterns that you can just rip off and take home. And I actually had to figure out, because they only had sizes like 10 to 12, and I was like a 14 at the time, so I had to figure out, what size I was, so that was interesting. And usually people think that you would knit sweaters in like wintertime because it's warm when you're knitting, but I actually like it when you're knitting them in the summer. It just seems more fun. So, anyway. Third project is actually another test knit ones. These are actually my first type of real knitting needles, quote unquote, because they're like actual sock needles. They're circular sock needles. They're size 2.75. These are Haya Sharps. 2.75, yeah. I got them at my knitting store close to me. Basically I turned the heels on these, and every heel I knit is different. None of them are the same. I don't know if these are big, but I was trying to figure out how to get the color the same size as the heel with the gusset, and I still haven't found that out. So it's a discovery kind of thing as you go. But I love the pattern on these socks because the front of it, I'm trying to see, the front of it is like, this is the second sock, and then this side is like spiraling, while this one has, you know, the little spots of color. And it's just this repeating pattern of this color, and then the brown, and then the blue. So, that was interesting, I thought. So these are just fun knitting kind of thing that I just like TV knitting, because I can knit while watching TV at the same time. Because I'm awesome. Third to last project. These are actually socks for a friend, and I haven't increased the toes because I don't know her foot size, so it's kind of a problem. But I just realized I forgot to say the date in the beginning of the podcast. It's Tuesday. I usually do Tuesdays for a podcast, or I want to do Tuesday podcast. So these are out of a really beautiful purples. I don't know if you can see that. It's focusing on me. There we go. It's yellow-y-ish. It's, I don't know. It's kind of what it looks like. It's a beautiful purple. Let's just say that. And then the main color is this, which I love. That's better. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, I cannot wait to increase the toes and start on the main body, but I kind of need to figure out her foot size. I will see her on Wednesday, hopefully. Wednesday is youth group, so I will see her and I will ask her, and hopefully I will, because last Wednesday nobody was there, so I was like, you know what, I'm just not gonna knit on this at the time. So anyway, 2 projects. Before I started this podcast, I was working on this project, and it started out as my brother's project because he knits, but not as much as me. He likes Harry Potter, he likes Hunger Games, he likes Star Trek, same as me. But he wanted to knit a Harry Potter blanket. And so he was knitting all these different squares in the house colors, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So he took Ravenclaws. Okay, so we have Slytherin. Everything is basically knitted. So this is Slytherin. There's 2 other colors. I'm trying to block out the light. There. I don't know. And then Ravenclaws. I love Harry Potter too. That's Ravenclaws. And then my personal house is Hufflepuff, because I'm a dweeb. I'm weird. And then Ravenclaw, he took the blue, but there's the gray that goes to Ravenclaw. So basically, we have all of these whole squares that will make a blanket. And he has 2 house colors left. He has 1 Ravenclaw and 1 Gryffindor. Did I call Ravenclaw? I don't know. I can't remember. I'm sorry if I did. So yeah. Basically, I knit almost half of this project, and then he knit the other half. So that was interesting. So, anyway, that's still a somewhat work in progress. I still have to wash and block 2 of the Hufflepuff squares, but I think they're downstairs. Squares. I'm sorry, that was bad. And then my blanket project is I have this whole bucket of yarns. Actually, I have it set up that these are my sock yarns that I'm knitting on, and the rest are just yarns it's not stash yarn because I've used them, but they're just leftover balls. And on the floor down here, I have a kind of pattern of 2 contrasting colors and a main color of yarn from sock yarns. So far, I'm trying to knit them into mitered squares, but apparently I learned a different way of knitting a mitered square, but it still looks the same as a mitered square. It's just wrap and turn kind of thing, because apparently it's a gardener thing, but I'm trying to knit them in pairs. So I have a little stack of mitered squares, and there should be 4 of each kind of set, because there's this is one sock pattern kind of square. I really love this pattern. There's a hair on it. There should be 2 of these, and then 2 of its contrasting color. But I've only knit 1 of each so far, so I wanted to do at least 1 of each, and then go back and knit the thing. So that's 1, and then there should be a green, this kind of green that goes with it that I should knit. And then for the squares that aren't sock from sock yarns, there'll just be 4 of these or these. It'll be a really weird pattern. So there should be 2 of these, and then 2 of the browns, 2 of these, and then 2 of these. Yeah, because that was the gray. So that'll be interesting. And I've already showed that one. And I really like this color because it's like a fall, autumn color. And by the way, my birthday is on Halloween, so I like fall time. I like springtime too. I like plants. I work at a garden center, so I like plants. It's pink, and then gray, light gray. So there's a little stack of mitered squares. And then I have balls that need to be cast. Oh, here's the other green that I was going to show you. That was the other green for this one. So, anyway. That's still a work in progress. I don't know how long it is going to take me. You will see it later on in future podcast things. But these all need to be cast on and knit into mitered squares. I can knit at least 2 or 3 mitered squares in a day if I'm really going at it. But since I'm still in school, knitting is not my priority. I still like doing it. But school is kind of my priority right now. My last project, I actually started this a few days ago. I have knit a shawl in the past, but it was a really bad shawl. I mean really bad. Bad enough to not show you. Half because it's under the table, squished away, where nobody can see it. But it's a pattern from a book that is over there that I don't really want to get right now. It's called Century Stitches. It's basically a family story through World War I think. And this person found out about this story and they wanted to make it into like a documentary or a movie. And then they had people knit clothes like from that period. And so there was a shawl design where you could use any yarn or any needles. So I wanted to put this into sock form, but I couldn't. It's this yarn, which I love. It's so beautiful. And then it would have been paired with this kind, and usually I don't like tweed, like, at all. But this is, like, really light tweed. I don't know if you can see that. But there's little spots of yellow and blue and pink, and I really love it. So I'm knitting this shawl, and it don't look like a shawl, but it is. And so I've been trying to knit kind of like irregular stripes of different sizes, different places. So I love the color. I don't know if you can see it, how beautiful. Oh, and when you hold it up to the light, it's just, so beautiful. So these are on size 8s, because size 8 was the needle I started out knitting on, like when I started knitting. Size 8 is like my friend. So, I don't know. I knitted my other shawl. Basically the problem with it was I knit it too small, because it said knit till it's like a foot long. And I didn't understand the part where you can knit to fit size after that. So I thought, oh, once you're a foot long, you're done. No. nope, you have to kind of keep going with that. So anyway, I'm reknitting it, following the pattern this time. So that's that. So that's about all my projects. So basically, my iPod camera, is sitting on top of a box, and inside the box is my yarn stash, and I will show it to you real quick. I'm trying to make these at least like half an hour long so far to start off with, and we're at 25 minutes. So this is actually sock pair number 1. I really love this color because it's beautiful, beautiful yarn. These are all acrylic yarns. I need to get into wool yarns. And actually, I am in Knitting Paradise podcast, not in their knit along, and I finished the Jan-Feb knit along, and I don't really understand for March. Is it just finishing projects? Because I'm finishing projects. But anyway, here's the second pair. I love this pair. You've already seen this. And this is like beautiful little spots of like green and gray. And it's kind of funny how knitters refer to yarn as delicious or yummy, but it's true. It is delicious. And then we just have other like contrasting colors in gray. And this is actually for my other sweater, the contrasting yarn for the other sweater. We have blue for socks for my aunt. These 2 and the 3rd that's in here are actually for another sock monkey, because I've knit 2 sock monkeys so far. They're sitting up top, and I will probably introduce them sometime. But the first one was really good. Somewhat define really good. But anyway, I do want to knit another sock monkey in the future, and I actually kind of created my own pattern for it that I probably will never publish because it looks. But I was happy with it at the time. So anyway, so this is the introduction video. It's like almost half an hour long. So I will get going, and I will see you guys next week. Next Tuesday. Shield. Shield comes on Tuesday. That's why I do my podcast on Tuesday. I am a Shield fan. My whole family, except for my dad, is a Shield fan. And my other brother. I have 2 brothers. 2 brothers and parents and 2 cats. I will probably introduce the cats. One is a Turkish cat, and one is a farm cat who is not very smart. So, anyway. Shield comes on tonight is basically what I was trying to tell you. I forgot to mention that. But I do love Shield. Because we just finished watching the Agent Carter that came on Tuesdays. It was kind of the break between Shield seasons. So, anyway, I will say goodbye to you all. Thank you for watching, if you did. Usually people end it with like subscribe and subscribe and leave a friendly comment below, but I don't know, do what you want. Doesn't matter. Don't leave nasty comments though, please, because that's just not very nice. Yeah, be nice to me. So, anyway, it's like almost exactly 30 minutes long, so I will say goodbye, and hopefully all you knitters out there will have a wonderful knitty weekend. So, thank you all for watching, and I will see you next week. And I don't want to just end the video, because then you will see my face frozen in time. So we are going to end with this yarn. Alright? Alright, let's end it. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Bye!